Okay guys, this is part 3 of my wiring here. I just wanted to go back in. You guys saw all this I did with all my brains and stuff. I got my computer out because I needed to mount my fuse box from the Ron Francis wiring harness and these fuses here. So what I did, this is the right here where the light is the old air duct, which here, let me put it up here. Maybe you guys can see it up there. But that's where I mounted the actual relays right up there. I just drilled into them, got them nice and snug up there, and then I took the actual fuse panel and mounted that right there. So you can see I got my relays there mounted, that's mounted, and then basically this is the wire here for the computer, which will come right up in here and plug in right up over there. It is. So you see that. So that's going to actually, I'll take the wires, and I'll be able to push them back in, probably back in through here, and then I'll be able to plug my ECM right about where my finger is, if you can see it, my middle finger, there it is. So that'll plug in right back over here. So now all these wires will be nice and tucked up in there. Now I got some straggler wires coming off here, like this one right here. This one here is actually, the green one's for my tack, and then these other two are for my like engine check light. With this particular wiring harness, you have to have power and a negative. So I ordered this off eBay, which is just basically an engine check engine light. So what I'll do is I'll basically hook that up, and then I'll just plug that into the back of the glove box once I get that mounted, and then I'll run another wire over here to the check engine. So it'll actually, over here on my Dakota dash, I'll have a check engine light there. So I mean, unfortunately I can't just run this wire over here to the Dakota digital, because that's not how this wiring harness works. So I'm not going to be able to do that. And then this one here, I got a purple one and an orange one here. These are basically ones for constant power, and the other one's for a key on. So I'll run those over to my ignition, which will go right here. I'll run those up underneath there. And then you got these right here. This is so I can basically plug in any trouble codes or anything like that. This is what I'll basically plug into right there. This thing here is for the transmission. There's a plug for a manual and then a plug for an auto. So obviously I got an automatic transmission, so I plugged in mine. I just taped up the other one right here. So if I ever were to go to a manual transmission in this, I've got the plug. All I'd have to do is just switch these out, plug it in here, and then basically my computer would know what transmission I have. Now this wire here, this purple and yellow one, these were wires that were on my American wire harness, but since I'm not using the VSS on that, I basically took these wires and tapped in over here, which what color were they? Let's go out here and take a look. I believe they were orange and green. We can take a look at it and see here, because this is the, yeah, they were orange and green. These are the ones, I'll tape these up. This is the one that goes down to the transmission here. So it just basically went right through there and through the firewall, and then back up here into the wiring harness. So I taped, just tapped into it here. I had some soldering clamps that I had that I bought. I think I showed those to you. Yeah, they're right here. These are pretty nifty. You just basically use your heat gun. It's got solder inside of them. It's got heat shrink already on it. So did a real good job. So now I'll be able to run this wire up over the top, and then that's going to plug in basically right here, and that's what's going to basically give me my speedometer. So I basically got in a position now to where I can basically just start plugging and playing and wiring it up, finish taping it up, and strapping all the wires down. So but I just thought this would make a nice little video on the mounting positions of the relays, which once again are right here. There's a plate right there which came with my classic auto air, so I was able to just tap into that and then put right there. Once again, I'll have to adapt my kick panel once I get it up there, cut off a little slot for that to go, but I think it's up there high enough to where it's it's in a pretty good location. It's hard. You know, it would have been nice to be able to mount this stuff, you know, before I got the classic AutoAir box in there, but you know, you just got to kind of put this stuff in and see where you can get your drill. And you know, I'm not going to take that box out, you know, just so I can push that fuse panel back a little bit. So anyways, thought you guys would like this. Bye bye.